Hey there everyone, it's Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, and welcome to another episode of E2B, Energy to Business, an Opportune podcast. You're obviously noticing the set might be a little different today, right? We're in a nice studio, and that means that we're doing an on-camera and in-person studio interview for today's episode of the show, which is always exciting. So thank you again for tuning into the episode as we continue to break down trends that impact the larger oil and gas, but also energy industries, and shed a little more light on Opportune as a company and some of our strategic vision. Before we get into today's talking points, I want to make sure that you're all caught up on previous Opportune content. So make sure that you're heading to our website, opportune.com. Again, opportune.com. There you'll find previous conversations and episodes of E2B, as well as other resources like articles, videos, white papers, blog posts, you name it. You can also subscribe to E2B on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so just hit that subscribe button and you'll have a full catalog of previous conversations, as well as notifications when we drop new thought leadership with the Opportune team. All right, let's get right into it, folks. I know y'all are eager to hear, why are we in the studio today? Well, most of y'all know us as a Houston-based company, right? In the heart of Texas's oil and gas industry, and in one of the nation's and really the world's most important hubs for the industry. However, Opportune has more locations than just Houston, right? And we have more locations across Texas that help us support not only our clients, but also develop our footprints in other critical business markets in the state. So what we're wanting to do with today's conversation is give a little highlight to one of those other nodes and hubs in the Opportune ecosystem. So today we're highlighting the Dallas hub. Market scales here in Dallas. We figured, why not just host the conversation in person? And Dallas is a booming metro, if you're not already aware. And this is, not only impacting the larger business sector, but also the energy sector. So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to unpack the role that Dallas's hub here plays for Opportune's strategic vision, how it plays a role in supporting Opportune's clients, but then also how the company is maneuvering some macro level, state level, and citywide changes to make the most of Dallas's presence. So here to shed some light and have some free-flowing conversations, we're joined by two of Opportune's partners. I'd like to go ahead and introduce both of them. Hey y'all, we're joined by Ryan Center, partner at Opportune, and Randy Hill, partner at Opportune. How y'all doing today?
Glad to be here.
Hey.
Doing great.
Love
Doing
it.
Great. Thank you.
Y'all have a busy day. I know there's a lot of travel, a lot of important business conversations happening on your schedule. So the fact that you took some time to chat with us today here in the studio is a pleasure. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. The pleasure's ours.
So let's jump into it. Again, we're talking Dallas's role in Opportune's larger vision, but then also how y'all see Dallas as an important hub for the industry. Before we get into all of that, though, let's get the basics out of the way. I want to hear a little bit more about your backgrounds and shed some light for our audience for how long you've been in not only this industry, but also here in Dallas, playing a role at Opportune and in the larger oil and gas sector. So we'll start with Randy. Break it down for us.
Well, it's really exciting to be here. I love the view, by the way.
Oh, isn't it great?
Looking out
Hard to beat.
over the fine city of Dallas.
Indeed.
So I have spent the majority of my career in public accounting. I was with a Big Four firm for almost 40 years.
Nice.
Was fortunate enough to kind of complete my career there, and then had a relationship with the founder of Opportune, David Baggett. And when I retired from the Big Four, he and I connected and ultimately got an opportunity to kind of jump back into this market and the office here. And just been working, kind of feverishly to expand our office here and the opportunities that are in this great market. So super excited to be here.
Yeah. Same question for you. Break it down.
You bet. Thank you. Well, again, honored to be here and to expand this conversation today in terms of Opportune's presence in Dallas.
Yeah.
My particular background, I've been in professional services for about 27 years.
Okay.
And cut my teeth early on with Anderson Consulting and what became Accenture, and actually on this very floor in this building.
No way.
Many years
That's
ago.
Great.
Yeah. It's fun to be back in this space.
Totally.
But really grew my career in the whole back office space of corporations and working with CFOs and dealing with their most pressing initiatives, usually around strategic cost management and growth initiatives around revenue, and then also cash flow optimization and process improvement. And over the last couple of decades, I've had the opportunity to work with several boutique firms and grow their respective practices and build all things business transformation focused. And about a year and a half ago, started having conversations with Opportune.
Nice.
And as all things go, we started brainstorming what that market offering could look like in terms of overall expansion, and then effective this year, started building that out. So have been in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for really my entire life. Grew up in Fort Worth and
Nice.
Then went away to school, and then have been working here professionally since the late 90s.
So, I mean, not only are y'all baked into this community, but your experience lends itself to really understanding the backbone of Opportune, its role in the larger industry, but then also Dallas's specific hub for Opportune's strategic vision as well. And I'm a Dallas guy myself too. I grew up in McKinney, making it down to the Dallas Metroplex to start and launch a career has really opened up my eyes to, even in the last 5 years, how much growth there has been in our business sector. So hopefully y'all can shed a little more light on that too. But let's get the Opportune perspective here. What do y'all see as the largest advantage, the largest differentiator over other competitors by having a strong presence in the Dallas market, right? What role does the city play in supporting your clients and giving you that leg up?
Yeah, I think as far as Opportune specific, I think this firm's really built itself in the energy industry.
Yeah.
And so I think we come to this market in a little different spot because we've got such a rich brand, is what I'd say, especially in the energy business, which opens a lot of doors. I mean, I think our preeminence as a firm has been built through energy. But Dallas is a different market. And so we get a lot of doors open through that energy brand, but we also have the opportunity, just through the skill set that we have and the talent that we're hiring, to enable us to play in different industries as well, which is a must in this market. As you know, it's a different market than the Houston market. So
Yeah.
I think we've been very fortunate to have those opportunities.
Yeah, I think the biggest strength in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is that diversification, that it's obviously very strong in the energy space, but financial services, healthcare, consumer goods and services. You have that diversification as a backbone that really helps us expand our offering space and really go to market a lot bigger than maybe the market already knows us. So we can expand conversations in a different way and leverage this particular market to really differentiate.
Right. What do you see as those complementary services then that being in Dallas allows you to then say we have a holistic suite or portfolio of not only solutions but also expertise to give energy advisory services to our clients, right? What node does Dallas play, to get a little more specific?
I would say that a lot of the services that we offer as a firm, or I'll say organic to different industries as well, be it complex financial accounting and reporting, valuation services, transactional due diligence, quality of earnings, and then you get into the services that Ryan offers, which are, I think, transportable to numerous industries in addition to energy.
You bet. Specifically on that business transformation front.
Right.
I mean, it's really agnostic when it comes to different industries, so to speak, which when there's major change initiatives that are being considered within an enterprise, whether that's an acquisition, whether it's a divestiture to a cost-cutting measure, or something to just bring another level of sophistication to their operations. When you look at transformation services, when you look at process improvement, when you look at overall systems and technology and the impact that can have across an organization, we try to be as agnostic as possible when it comes to industries, and that helps us really expand specifically within the Dallas-Fort Worth market.
I would add on one thing. I think that one of the things that we're trying to do is build talent. I mean, we can go out in the market and bring on individuals, but I think we really making a significant effort to find the right talent, highly experienced individuals that have a diversified set of skills in the market. And a lot of our folks have energy experience and some don't. But what we're finding is our clients, whether it's energy or non-energy, they want talent. They want to see the best available skill set in the market. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to hire. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the two of you have an illustrious career where you have been able to identify, what kinds of bits of experience, what sorts of traits, qualities, skills are needed to build that sort of expertise and that strong team. I mean, you were mentioning to me off camera, right? You're headed to a recruitment dinner right after this, right? To hopefully further expand the team. Break down some of that, strategy for us, right? You don't have to break open the whole playbook necessarily, but when you're looking to build out Opportune's teams, what are you looking for, right? And how do you feel that those specific skills, that work ethic and that experience allows you to better support your clients, especially with this node here in Dallas?
Sure. I mean, I'll say there's really two main components that when you really look at the Kickstarter for conversations and identifying talent, it's leadership and problem solving. Right, and it really doesn't even matter what level. That cream kind of rises to the top when you get engaged in a conversation, and their ability to bring calm to maybe a dicey situation or where there's a lot of change that is underway, and organizations need that leadership to help guide through the waters, so to speak, to ensure that there's a smooth landing as change is induced. And their processes change, or a new accounting pronouncements being implemented, and there's a treatment strategy for that has to be anchored and implemented, and so that leadership is a key ingredient. The problem solving is a bit intuitively obvious, right? We go into complex situations that again need that leadership to help guide the waters, but the problem solving to break things down into manageable pieces. That from a program management, project management discipline, that we have the ability to get things done. We get it done quickly, and we do it the right way, and it brings value to the organization. And so that really is the core crux of our brand. That when we're looking at bringing on talent into the business, we have to have those attributes, and they're identified quickly.
Absolutely.
One thing I'd add on to that, I think that's right on point, is that one of the differentiators I see with our firm, maybe versus some others, is that we're actually doing the work with our teams. Ryan and I are not just pure business development individuals that are here just to come do podcasts and have a great view outside of the building.
Hitting the nice dinner.
Dinners, all that sort of stuff. We're actually, we're in with the teams doing the work with them. And that's a differentiator versus what I think are several of our competitors. So that's a key thing to our recruitment as well. We're going to, just from a cultural perspective, we're going to be in the details with our teams.
Well, that matters a lot too. I mean, especially if you can identify, let's call it young blood, right? That has that kind of problem solving, skill set, that has the work ethic, but maybe doesn't have the full breadth of experience in the industry yet. Being able to learn from leadership that is in the weeds with you. I mean, there's honestly no comparison. It's what I valued a lot about, like, my journalism education, for example, and I'm sure when you're dealing with, like you said, massive business transformations, financial projects that are worth millions, if not billions of dollars, right? Being able to get in the weeds and do so accurately and efficiently is probably way more than prepping a podcast interview. You know what I mean? And so I can see why that kind of leadership and that work or that kind of business model structure would be so useful. So then playing off of that, we obviously understand the importance of Houston's market. We understand the importance of Dallas's market in this larger sector. What would you say is the sort of synergy between the two, right? How does Dallas's presence help support some of the operations and the services that are more common in Houston than the other way around, right? Talk about that back and forth, that relationship.
Yeah, I can start. I haven't lived in both cities.
Nice.
I lived in Houston for 20 plus years.
Okay, love it.
Grew up in Fort Worth, this guy's hometown.
Yes.
And then went to Houston and wound up back in Dallas about 17 years ago. So
Okay.
I've seen kind of both cities and how they both operate. They are very different. There's no question about that. But I think one of the keys to Opportune is that we're able to, because there is energy in both cities, we are able to kind of share our relationships.
Yeah.
And especially in private equity piece of the business and in our resources as well. I mean, we have teams in Houston that are working in Dallas, and building our resources here, we're able to support and work on different clients that may be in the energy business up in down in Houston. I'd say in addition to that, just leveraging the skill sets that we have in our Houston office as we're really building out this practice in this market has been a huge benefit with energy and I'll say our non-energy clients that we've been able to attract. So it's been a win-win. And again, I say the brand, it's nice to be trying to work to build an office when you have such a substantial brand that's already in place.
Very true. Helps have that foundation to build off of. Like you
Right.
said, yeah. And then, with that kind of foundation, then it would naturally prepare you for any sort of rapid changes to the industry, to the company. And so to wrap things up, I want to get y'all's sort of future-focused perspectives here. The energy industry, sort of at large, is always going through crazy ups and downs. I know you serve non-energy clients too, but that's really where Opportune has sharpened its skills and its services. So with everything that's going on geopolitically, domestically, to influence the larger market, what trends do you see heading into 2023 that are influencing Opportune's strategic vision, and specifically Dallas's role in that strategic vision, right? Break those trends down and how y'all plan to respond, or the impact that you see them having on y'all's plans moving forward.
Sure. I mean, just to hit on from an energy perspective,
Yeah.
and very broadly speaking, I think going into 23 and beyond, you're going to see a significant amount of CapEx being deployed and making investments into organizations because commodity prices are higher.
Yeah.
And candidly, we really, when you look at the market, we're not going to see it fall tremendously in any time in the near future. You mentioned it is cyclical, and it absolutely is. But right now we're riding on the higher side of that cycle.
Yep.
And when that happens, you see a lot of CapEx, capital expenditures, get deployed into investments into organizations, and certainly that benefits us as practitioners as helping with special projects and bringing modifications into businesses, whether that's process improvement or technology or looking at potential acquisitions or tuck-ins into the organization that really gets to the sweet spot of us as a firm in the market. And so we want to capitalize on that. But what that also does with the growth in that particular area, it helps us make investments for us as a firm into other areas to expand our footprint. And that could be new service lines, and it certainly is where we're making some investments. In addition to that, market expansion, obviously, and the genesis of this conversation. But then also moving over into other industries and being able to bring the level of expertise we have from an energy perspective, but taking that leadership and problem solving into a healthcare organization or into a consumer goods and services organization, and leveraging on that diversified marketplace like Dallas-Fort Worth to where we can execute on our growth strategies. So it all dovetails in together in terms of enabling both what we see within the energy space, but how we're able to make those investments in other areas.
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree. I think the way I look at it, we're super fortunate to have a great brand. I mean, while we're somewhat of a startup in this market, just because of where we are. I mean,
Sure.
that's where we are. I kind of look at it somewhat organically as a new build, but we've got this great brand, and so we want to take advantage of that. There's very few companies, I think, that can say, hey, I'm starting a business, but I already have a great brand, and we do. So we want to leverage that, and that primarily that's going to leverage us into the energy space, which is great.
And just to highlight on Dallas's growth right now, I was just refreshing myself on the most recent reports, and Dallas is still leading U.S. cities in small business job growth. It was last year, it was the largest growing metroplex in terms of population. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are seizing the opportunity to come into Dallas and to plant their flag. And that can be either, other competitors to Opportune, but also potential clients, right? And so I'm curious then, you've laid out some strategies for how Opportune is differentiating itself. With that context in mind, right? That Dallas is continuing to grow, and if anything, we're still riding that growth wave for the whole city. What does Opportune see as its future steps to continue to stay one step ahead, continue to stay competitive, and offer clients something that really does take advantage of Dallas's diversified markets, like you were talking about?
Yeah, I'll start and let Ryan jump in. I think we need critical mass. I think we need size, we need scope, and I think we're going to be able to build that out over time. I think we need to do more of this, where it's word of mouth, get the name out, the brand out. Again, I think leverage the awesome brand that we have and just make it more visible in the marketplace, because those opportunities are there. I think you just mentioned some key things. This is a very vibrant economy, even in somewhat of a downturn nationally. We're still in a great spot in multiple different industries, and I think it's a consulting-rich environment. We just need to be expanding our brand in the marketplace, and once people see our talent, I think they're ready to jump in with us, and I think we've been super fortunate there.
Seeing is believing, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And the only thing I'll add to that really is in continued investments, right? Whether that's thought leadership and research, going across that diversified marketplace that we fortunately live in the Dallas market, and with that it cradles top talent, right? Being able to, as we get that critical mass, that we leverage that talent to really be aggressive in the market with thought leadership and new offerings and addressing those unique situations that our clients are faced with, and building that credibility in terms of how we can help organizations.
For sure.
And both with our past and how we've been able to solve the most complex problems, but having the research and the services to provide that new wave. Right, we're going to see an unprecedented amount of change over the next 5 years when it comes to capital markets, financial institutions, and some of the complexities that they're going to be faced with, as well as healthcare. And a lot of that is the emergence of coming out of the pandemic. And let's face it, business is done differently now.
Yeah, very fair.
And we have to adapt to that, and most importantly, bring that leadership to the market that will help all organizations that we serve be successful.
Hey Ryan, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Fort Worth.
Let's loop them in. We are the DFW metroplex, right?
I mean, I live in Dallas, been here since I moved back to the area, but I did grow up in Fort Worth, and he's a staple in the Fort Worth community. And
love it.
That is a very, very thriving business culture over there as well.
Yep.
So maybe just spend a minute and talk about that, because that's part of our goal, is to tap into that market effectively as well.
And what, create some unity between the Dallas and Fort Worth?
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
We're building bridges
bullish
here, okay?
No, I am bullish on just when you mentioned earlier the growth, and that we continue to be the fastest growth major metropolitan area
for sure.
in the country, and you look at the convergence between the Dallas and Fort Worth communities. That 20 years ago, you could go down I-30, and for a 20-mile stretch, there really wasn't a whole lot that connected the communities except the city of Arlington, which in its own right was a very unique and distinct community.
Right.
But now, as we look out west right here, it has all converged together and into that major metropolitan area, a la the Metroplex.
Yep.
But the beauty behind that is taking the strengths of both Dallas and Tarrant counties and the surrounding counties, that our ability to attract major corporations into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, you have Toyota Financial Services now based in North Dallas. You have a major network for Facebook or Meta. With their data centers at the Alliance area in North Fort Worth, but then Burlington Northern Santa Fe based in Fort Worth, and major companies that Fortune 50 type companies that are in the greater Tarrant County, and again, I think that the opportunities in that diversified economic subset in terms of those industries, that it all dovetails in together. And when you look at serving the broader market as one, and having critical mass across all those markets, you're going to be enormously successful. And treating it as one market as opposed to just the Dallas market.
Absolutely.
Or just the Fort Worth market. And of course, over the years we've had the crosstown rivalries, and that's super fun. And there are very unique attributes to what we love to call Cowtown,
right,
and where the West begins. And I'm a proud member of that community, but I would say I'm even prouder of being part of the broader Metroplex, and the uniqueness that we have in North America, let alone the United States, and the fact that we are so attractive for companies to come and operate. The amount of talent in this market, and the ability to be successful is just an enormous platform.
Totally.
Enormous platform. So we will leverage that platform along with our brand of Opportune, and we look forward to the road ahead.
So, speaking of, I know you'll have some important business meetings to get to, and these meetings are going to help continue to grow the brand and bring in some fresh blood into the company to, again, bring that fire to Opportune's strategic vision here. So I really appreciate y'all taking some time today to chat about how you see Dallas's node here in the larger ecosystem play a role in Opportune's future, and I'm sure we'll have future conversations here with the rest of y'all's teams. So thank you again for joining us here in the Market Scale Studios. Again, folks, we've been joined by Ryan Center. He's a partner at Opportune, as well as Randy Hill, also a partner at Opportune. Thank you to the two of you, and if folks want to get in touch, they want to pick your brain a little bit more, how can they do so, right? Where should we point them?
Well, I think if you come to the Opportune website, that's one way.
Easy enough.
Opportune.com, or it's rhill@opportune.com, which is super simple. Love to connect and sit down, have coffee or lunch, and
Talk shop?
see if we can talk shop.
I love it.
Yeah.
Same
Likewise,
for you?
our center at opportune.com. But I think, the easiest place is to go to the website, and you'll be able to navigate through our different service offerings, our key contacts, and our leadership group, and it will point you in the right direction.
Easy enough, y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. And you're always welcome in the studio. And folks, I have a feeling we'll be having more of the Dallas office here in studio. So hope you enjoyed this in-person Opportune interview. I really appreciate y'all sitting down with us.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for joining us here on another episode of E2B, Energy to Business, an Opportune podcast. If you like what you heard and saw today and you want some previous episodes, make sure you're heading to our website, like our two guests said, opportune.com. You'll find not only other episodes of the show, but also other important information about our solutions and services and other great Opportune content in general. You can also subscribe to E2B on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, and we'll catch you on the next episode of E2B.